Hi everyone. Sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you, but today I want to talk to you about having pets in an RV and having pets in RV parks. So first of all, I want to show you our pet. His name is Chalky, and he is so adorable. He is a 70-pound chocolate lab shepherd mix. Say hi, Chalky. And he is the love of my life, except for my husband, but he's a handful. So when we decided to downsize, we had to think about Chalky because we were living on 2 acres of land that he could have free roaming, and he had never been on a leash. He is 6 years old, and so it was going to be quite an ordeal to get him to understand that he can no longer just go outside and do whatever he wants, and he has to walk around outside on a leash. And so that was a big consideration. And when we decided, okay, we're going to make this work, I got a leash and I started walking him around our land on a leash, and boy did we battle. He did not like that at all. And so then when we moved to Florida and we were in our RV, he at least knew what the leash was all about, but he and I still battled for a long, long time. And the leash situation was a mess. And when my husband would walk him, he would behave, but he didn't behave for me. And he would pull really hard, and he would bark at every dog he saw, and he has a shepherd bark. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He is not aggressive at all, but he has the meanest sounding bark in town. And so every dog, every person he would see, he would bark, he would run toward them, and he would scare people. And he would not listen to me. So he and I had a lot of work to do. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the places weren't packed with dogs, but they are. Almost everybody, trust me, almost everyone in an RV has a dog. At least one. Some people show up with 3 and 4 dogs. And it's really a difficult situation sometimes. So what I'm going to tell you, first of all, is that when you are shopping around for an RV park, or just one that you're going to, stay at for a few days, if you have a dog, you need to know what their rules are. Some of them will not let you stay there if you have a dog that's bigger than 25 or 30 pounds. So that narrowed our options quite a bit, because again, he's 70 pounds. And they don't budge on that. They're pretty strict. The other rule they have is a leash rule, that the dog is never supposed to be off the leash. And of course, you have to pick up the poop. All good things, being good neighbors and all that. And so, and some of them do not allow certain breeds. So you have to be aware of what their rules are, because I know that sometimes you pull into an RV park, and if you don't have the right size dog or you don't have the right breed, they won't let you stay there. Other parks, I don't think, pay any attention. They have rules, but they don't enforce them. So it's really it's really difficult to tell. And I would say that you can't ever really hope and count on that they won't enforce the rules, because some of them definitely do. We were turned down by a couple of parks when I said, oh, well, we just have this most wonderful chocolate lab and he won't bother anybody. Nope, absolutely not. So So that's what you need to know in terms of shopping around for a place to either, stay or to live. Um, Now, the nitty gritty of having a dog in a park, especially when it's really busy, is that, everybody's out walking their dogs pretty much at the same times. You just can count on it. Early morning, early evening. And a lot of people have little dogs, really tiny dogs. Well, what I have found, and it was almost a rule for me, is that the people with little tiny dogs, many of them seem to think that if they just open the door to their camper and let their dog out, that their dog won't go anywhere and that their dog is fine. So they don't keep their dogs on a leash. And what I also found is that little tiny dogs can be very aggressive, and they especially aggressive toward big dogs. So Chucky and I would go walking around, and we're minding our own business, and here comes this little ball of fire small dog coming at and trying to attack him, and biting his legs and all sorts of things. And it was really disconcerting because the campers, they just seem to think it's okay to let their dogs roam. So I could never walk him around our RV park with the confidence that another dog wouldn't come out and try to attack him. Now, luckily, again, he's not aggressive. So when he would get attacked, he would just stand there. But you just never know. They're animals. And the last thing I ever want to do is be in the middle of a dog fight. So, so that's one thing. So don't ever, when you pull in an RV park and you get your dog out, don't ever think, let's just go for a walk. You have to be watching for all these dogs that can just pounce on you. The other thing is that there are some people who have bigger dogs who also seem to think that it's okay to not keep their dogs on a leash. So they'll put their dogs on their golf cart and they'll ride around. They'll let their dog just run around out on their site. And I have had one dog that actually, a big dog, that did attack Chucky. And he bit him right in the face, and he's still got a little scar on his face from it. So, despite the fact that this is a park that doesn't allow dogs off leashes, I can tell you this happened, and it probably is still happening. So that's not to say that there aren't plenty of nice people who follow the rules and do everything that they need to do and do not, let their dogs roam free. It definitely does happen. And Chucky has the temperament of all he wants to do is run and run up to some dog or person, and he just wants to say hi. He wants to sniff the dog and he wants to say hi to the person, have them pet him a little bit, and he's done. But again, he scares people because he's running toward them quickly, and he's big and he's strong, and a lot of those people are used to their little dogs, so it kind of freaks them out. So I had to learn how to manage him. And the first thing that some dog trainers told me turned out to be the most valuable piece of information, and that was to get him one of those choke collars. Now, I was always against those because I thought they hurt them, but they educated me that they do not hurt them. They just put pressure on their neck when you pull up on it to get them to basically sit down. And when I started mastering that with him, he really calmed down with me. And so I can keep control of him even if we're walking past a dog that it is killing him not to be able to go over and sniff. I can keep him under control. It's not easy, but I can do it. I was never able to do that until we got the choke collar. And he's totally used to it now, and it's perfect. But I guess what I would say as my biggest piece of advice is if you haven't been in a place where there's a lot of dogs and you're walking among them, you might want to find a place where you could do that and make sure that you can handle your dog, so that you have the confidence to actually enjoy a walk with your dog around the RV park, because usually there's a lot of room and it's really could be very enjoyable, and I ended up enjoying it so much. But I didn't have that experience before we got there. One great place to go is take your dog to PetSmart or one of those type stores where they allow the dogs, and because there's plenty of dogs in those stores and you can see how your dog does. And I think that's it. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to share about having a pet. Now, I don't know anything about having cats, but I'm sure that's a lot easier. Okay, well, that's it for now. Take care. Oh, please subscribe. Please subscribe.